What loophole did you exploit for years before someone found out? Back in high school, I figured out something that probably saved me from failing chemistry. Our school had this really weird system for substitute teachers that nobody paid attention to. Whenever our regular teacher called out sick for just a day or two, they'd bring in some random substitute who had no clue how our school worked. The subs would get these printed attendance sheets with all our names on them. They'd call roll, mark who was there, and then just leave the sheet on the teacher's desk when they left. Here's the thing though, nobody ever checked those sheets against the computer system. They just sat there collecting dust. I discovered this by accident during my sophomore year. Mrs. Bennett was out with the flu, and we had this substitute who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. She called my name for attendance, but I was in the bathroom. My friend Jake just said here for me without thinking about it. When I got back, I realized what happened, but nothing came of it. No phone calls home, no detention, nothing. That's when I started testing it. The next time we had a substitute in chemistry, I told Jake and my other friend Ryan about what happened. We made a plan. I'd skip class entirely and go hang out in the library, while one of them would answer for me during roll call. The substitute never questioned it. They'd just mark me present and move on. It worked perfectly, so I started doing it more often. Chemistry was my worst subject, and I hated every minute of it. The teacher was this old guy who made us memorize the periodic table and do these impossible equations. But with substitutes coming in maybe once or twice a month, I could skip those days entirely and use the time to study for other classes or just relax. After a few months, I got bolder. I started bringing my own attendance sheets that I'd downloaded from the school's website. They used the same template every time, just with different dates. When the substitute looked overwhelmed, which happened a lot, I'd offer to help fill out the attendance. They were always grateful for the help. I'd make sure everyone who wanted to skip got marked present. Kids who had jobs and needed to leave early, athletes who wanted extra practice time, seniors who just couldn't handle another boring class. I became like this underground hero. People would text me when they saw a substitute walking toward our classroom. The best part was that I'd gotten so good at copying the school's format that the sheets looked completely official. I even figured out which pens the school used and made sure to write in the same style as the real teachers. For almost 2 full years, I helped myself and probably 20 other kids skip dozens of classes without getting caught. I racked up over 60 missed chemistry classes alone, but my attendance record showed perfect attendance. My mom even got a letter from the school congratulating her on my commitment to never missing class. We both laughed about how dedicated I was to my education. The whole thing finally fell apart during spring semester of my senior year. We had this substitute who wasn't just some random person they pulled off the street. She was actually a retired principal from another district who was helping out for a week while our teacher recovered from surgery. I made my usual move, offering to help with attendance since she seemed busy setting up the lesson. But when I handed her my fake attendance sheet, she looked at it for way too long. She noticed that I'd written the date in the wrong format. I'd been using the European style with the day first instead of month first like American schools do. That was enough to make her suspicious. She reported it to the main office right after class. Within 2 days, they'd pulled attendance records from the entire year and started comparing them with security footage from the hallways, library check-ins, and even the cafeteria scanners we used for lunch. They found dozens of discrepancies, and every single one could be traced back to my handwriting on various substitute attendance forms. I got called into the principal's office on a Thursday morning and walked into a room with 3 administrators, a stack of papers, and some very unhappy faces. They laid it all out, every fake attendance sheet, every time someone had covered for me, every day I'd left school early or skipped entirely. The principal told me I was getting suspended for academic dishonesty just 2 weeks before graduation. My college had to be notified. For a while, it looked like I might not even be allowed to walk across the stage with my class. In the end, I did graduate, but barely. The school completely overhauled their substitute system because of what I'd done.